Understanding what 55 and over communities are like and the rules are extremely important when deciding to make a big life change. This should be an exciting time to downsize where you have less responsibility so you can enjoy activities, vacationing, or just have a little more time to relax. It's exciting to think about downsizing, however, it can be a little scary. This big lifestyle change can be riddled with mistakes if you don't understand some of the basics and know what to look for. So in this video, I'm going to provide you information on the 6 biggest mistakes people make when buying a home in a 55 and over community. Hi, I'm Maria Wells, your real estate expert on the Treasure Coast of Florida, providing all sorts of information on neighborhoods, homes, and current topics in real estate. I would really enjoy hearing from you on questions you may have, so please comment below and I will get back to you quickly. Remember to hit the subscribe button to my channel to receive all sorts of information on buying or selling real estate when my videos are released every Tuesday. So let's talk about the basics first of a 55 and over development. Well, that means that at least 80% of the occupied units must have at least one person 55 years of age or older. This leaves 20% of the community's units available for people of any age, and that's what creates the 80-20 rule. If you are married or living with someone who is younger than you and you want to move into one of these communities, as long as one of you is 55 and over, you'll be just fine. Well, many times I'm asked how these communities are allowed to have this restriction. Age-restricted communities were already established when the Fair Housing Act was passed in 1968. There are certain rules these communities must adhere to in order to operate with this restriction. That's really about as far as I want to go into fair housing, other than to say they can legally operate as an age-restricted community. Did you know that 33% of baby boomers who are 65 and older were the lowest group of home buyers who regretted their home buying purchase, where the first-time home buyers represented 64%. So we're actually doing quite well and learned from our mistakes over the years. However, let's make sure we continue to underperform in the regret column by having a little more information. Every day, 10,000 people turn 65 years of age. That means 1 out of 7 Americans. That's more than 55 million Americans, and according to the U.S. Census Bureau, 1/4 of these Americans live in either California, Florida, or Texas. So let's jump right into the 6 biggest mistakes people make when purchasing a home in a 55 and over community. So number 1, you didn't choose the right house type. Well, if you currently live in a single family home with neighbors a bit of a distance from you, then living in a 55 plus community can be a huge change. Many of the 55 and over communities are either condominiums or villas, and many of them share a wall. The homes in these types of communities are usually insulated really well, and it won't really matter, but it's important to be aware of this in case this really might bother you. Also, if you're moving to a condominium, are you okay with not pulling into a garage or walking a bit to get to your front door, or even down a shared hall with entrances off of the hallway? This is a big change for many, and sometimes it comes with regrets in the future, especially if you like a little more privacy or don't want to walk so far carrying packages. Also, some of the communities, they even share laundry facilities with their neighbors. These are all really important factors to investigate about a community before making a purchase. So number 2, the community amenities are not what you expected. What? Well, it's exciting to have all the amenities promised listed on that feature sheet. After all, that's why you moved there, to enjoy what was offered. But the reality is to make sure you look at the ratio of homes to amenities. So what am I talking about? Well, if the community offers a pool, clubhouse, tennis courts, or pickleball, you need to look at how many homes and occupants who might be in the homes who would be using these amenities by, let's say, the number of pools or pickleball courts. You may discover that it would be difficult to find a chair at the pool or even to be able to play a game because the population with that community is so large compared to the availability of those amenities to you. So number 3, too many homeowner rules. Yes, there are state regulations with 55 and plus communities. However, each community also has their own homeowner association rules, which make it sometimes a little more difficult. Some communities have a little more relaxed rules, and then there are ones that they could have pet or vehicle or rental restrictions as an example. So it's really important. Please read the rules and regulations before signing your contract. You may love the restrictions if that works for your lifestyle, and if that community has rules you don't desire, don't worry. There's other communities with different rules which may be a better fit for what you are looking for. Number 4, monthly fees are more than anticipated. Well, there's always going to be a homeowner association fee for the entire community to cover the upkeep and amenities you receive. However, sometimes there's an additional fee on top of that one for a community within the community. So what am I talking about? Many times in your really large homeowner communities, there will be a separate smaller community, and many times these smaller communities within that big development have their own additional fees to cover more maintenance, or maybe they have an additional pool. So make sure you've been provided all the information for fees, because that could be a real surprise after you close. Now, fortunately, if you work with a realtor, we're required to disclose all fees in advance. So number 5, the floor plan doesn't work. Okay, so you thought you could be comfortable with your downsize, and it's tough where to put everything once you move in. Well, make sure before you even sign that contract that you have measured and really planned where everything will fit, because sometimes it just isn't going to fit into your new downsized home. Just remember that furniture does not always fit from one home to another. If you've lived in a larger home for a long time, your furniture may have to downsize too in order to fit in the scale of your new home. Furniture should never get in the way of your new lifestyle. This is the time to make it yours and enjoy the found free time that you're going to have. This is where a stager or a professional can really help you with many of your furniture choices. And you may be surprised because they can come up with some really great ideas of what to do. And if that doesn't work and you've already moved in and you're still not happy, you can always renovate. Some changes are not that costly, such as taking down a wall or changing the color of paint. You'd be really surprised at what that can do. But if after a bit there's just nothing to make it right, you can always move again. However, that would be the last resort. The good news about that is that with this market, you would still be continuing to build equity, making money where you're living. So even if you decide to make this drastic measure, you're not losing anything. It's just a lot of work to get moved again. So number 6, you feel you overpaid. Well, it is really tough in this competitive market to not feel like you didn't overpay. However, rest assured, as long as you can afford the payment, which I'm sure you deliberated on before signing a contract, and you are enjoying the community, then stop having regrets. I know I am guilty of this myself when I buy big ticket items. However, this is what I have learned. You've just really got to accept your feelings and remember why you purchased it, and let those feelings subside, and remember why you fell in love with that home and that community in the first place. I don't want you thinking about this to kill your joy of your new lifestyle. Well, these 6 concerns are all important things to consider when making such a big life change. Hiring a realtor who is experienced in working with 55 and over communities will really help you avoid all of the above pitfalls that I just mentioned. Now that you're a little more knowledgeable about mistakes in purchasing a 55 and over community, you may want to go with me to this next video to provide you more information on living in a 55 and over community. And until next time, happy house hunting.